Alright, so I was trolling Facebook Marketplace as I am wont to do when I get a little bit bored with my life, and I came across this little weapon. So it is a Peugeot Premier. My understanding is this was sort of the entry level, but it's from Chester in the UK, and the guy that I bought it off is obviously British himself. Carbolite tubes, which I've personally not heard of, by Peugeot in France. So quick glance over it, and the rust actually doesn't look too bad. I think a lot of it I'll just be able to buff out, particularly on the group set. And there are a few things that I'm going to keep. There are a few things that I'm thinking about upgrading. For example, these shifters seem to be plastic, and I'm pretty keen to get rid of those for some stainless steel shifters. We'll see how we go with that. I'm definitely going to get rid of these reflectors, but the cool thing is these seem to be the original wheels. They've got much smaller hubs than some of the newer wheels tend to have, and one thing we're definitely getting rid of is that. We'll just set the limit screws to fix that problem up. But yeah, a little 5-speed beast that I'm hoping to convert into something half decent, and then either look at keeping or flipping. So let's get in the garage and have a look at what we might do. Okay, so there's one thing that I'm pretty keen to get rid of immediately, and that is this seat. There's nothing wrong with it, but it is extremely uncomfortable. It's got a few scuff marks, and what I'm thinking of doing is switching it with this, which I have on a fixie, which I'm probably going to sell. And I had this done by a guy in Amsterdam who restores old bikes and old bike seats, and I'm thinking about popping that on there, but I'm in two minds about it. I think the purple would look quite cool on there, but yeah, just not set on it yet. So anyway, what we're going to do now is we're going to strip it, a bit of polish, and see what we can turn some of these parts into. And that'll be part one of the resto. So the problem that we're having here is that in this there is a plastic screw which can probably be best seen from this side, and it is completely stuck in there on both sides. The moment I tried to lift this with a screwdriver, the plastic just snapped, and so now, I don't know if you can see too well, but there is plastic all through there that is about 40 years old and doesn't want to budge, and that means that I can't get my socket wrench in to get it out. I've tried melting it. I don't really I don't really know what to do. So yeah, anyway, gonna try and solve that. So I've just tried it with the other side, and as you can see, that's the plastic part here. That's the, well, nut inside there, and it's just completely snapped. It took nothing. I'll try and I can almost, it's breaking just up, there we go, under my hand. So yeah, I'm gonna take a break and maybe do some research on this, and yeah, no good. Anyway, first roadblock wouldn't be an old bike resto if there wasn't a few little problems. Anyway, good time for a break. Okay, so it's not the most beautiful day for doing anything really in Sydney today, but it is a day, and a day is any day to do some work on a bike. So it's time to do some cleaning. Kind of stuck on that plastic thing, and so instead of letting it get me down, instead of getting hung up on it, I'm just gonna start cleaning the components up. So what I'm using for this is just simply the weld tight bike cleaner concentrate. You just mix that with water, and then for the more stubborn stuff like the chain rings, or cassette, sorry, you use the Jet Blast degreaser from Weld Tight. So you can use any, there are a couple of different products for this. I use Weld Tight because one, it's good, and two, they sponsor me on Instagram through Jet Black, who distributes for them. So that's a win-win. But I think they sponsor DSM in the Pro Tour, so it's not like I'm using poor quality stuff here. This is legit. But yeah, I mean, just to give you an idea, I'll get a different. So I'll use this, and just having a look at the general appearance of there, and a couple of sprays of this, and it's just straight up to shiny. So yeah, it sort of makes all of this stuff super easy. It doesn't fix everything, but it is pretty incredible. And yeah, for those who saw the cassette before, just after leaving it to sit for a bit, that's it now. So yeah, that stuff is absolutely golden. So the rest of it is just a sponge and this stuff. So time to go get the sponge and do some cleaning. Okay, so I saw this guy online because I've been looking at how to get the rust out without having to sand back the paint. He didn't give me a solution to that, but what he did do is give me a solution to getting the rust out of some of these wheels, which I'm keen to give a go. So what he said is all you need is a ball of aluminium foil and some water. And because the aluminium should be softer than the steel on the frame, it shouldn't scratch the frame like your steel wool would do. And all you're doing is just brushing that coating a little bit, so that you're not rubbing straight onto the steel, because if this was straight steel it would rust immediately. So it has a coating on there to protect it from rusting, and by just rubbing the aluminium foil along there, you just remove those flecks of rust. And just to give you a bit of an idea, let's get the GoPro. We are going to have a go at this section here. So right there, and you can see it's quite rusty. So you get the foil in the water, sorry for the bumps before as well. As I'm doing this in the backyard, it's sitting on a an aluminium tin, because it's the only thing I could find to prop the camera up on. But this actually works. And there it is. So what he said's happening, and I'll link the video if I can find it again, is basically there is a coating on the aluminium, on the steel, and it should be a perfect coating, but it's not. And so what you get is these gaps in the steel coating. And it's those gaps that allow oxygen to get in and react with the steel, and it is that oxygen getting in and reacting with the steel that is causing the rust, and that rust comes out through those gaps. So all you're doing is just removing that surface rust by using something softer than the steel and the coating, but that can sand those rusts off. So this is why steel wool is sometimes used, but it's likely to cause some significant damage to that coating that you've got, and that's not ideal, and that's where your aluminium foil comes in. So there you go, little hack. Okay, so it started to rain a bit too heavily out there for my likings, but what I thought we'd finish on is this is the wheel, and these are the sections that I have not treated for the rust. So I've got the light on there to try and show you as we go through. We are now on sections that I have treated, and it is so good. You can even see that writing along there, which says 28, I can't read those numbers in there, in inches anyway, made in France, Regida, Superchromix, and yeah, then we come around to parts that haven't been treated again, and they're covered in rust. So look, I was a bit skeptical, but the foil ball trick actually works. So yeah, anyway, there you go. Hopefully you've got a little bit out of session 1, and it has wet your whistle, and you're pretty keen to come back for session 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, however long it takes us to do this bike. But yeah, cheers, and have a good day.